Welcome back to Autism at Home, brought to you by us at Early Autism Project Malaysia through our non-profit initiative, The Hope Project. My name is Joshabeth Isaacs, and it's so nice to see you again. This is our 16th series entitled A Daily Guide. And in our last lesson, we discussed children from the ages of 5 to 7. And for this lesson, we'll be specifically speaking about children who have transitioned to typical school. Now, it is important to understand that, for example, in Malaysia, most schools do not have a special needs program unlike the USA. We do have special education classes in national schools, but generally in most private and international schools, if a child has transitioned into school, then he or she is likely on the milder end of the spectrum, quite high functioning and likely almost closing the gap. There are, of course, a few amazing schools to the exception. Now, I just wanted to clarify that as this lesson is catered more towards that category of children. Unlike the previous age groups, once a child has transitioned to school, there's really not much time in the day anymore for us to work on foundational skills or catching up, as the key priority starts to shift to supporting them in school. This is really important to understand, as if your child still has a delay of a few years, it will definitely be worthwhile considering a shorter day in school so that he or she has sufficient time in the afternoons to continue intensive therapy that can help catch up in the delayed areas as well as support their school. The key priorities at this stage would continue to include school support. This would mean any skills that a child needs to learn or practice in order to be successful at school. This can range from basic classroom expectations, such as following rules and routines, maybe lining up, transitioning to recess, also following instructions, especially in a group, functional communication in school, behavior regulation and flexibility, overall independence. Then the area of academic expectations. Perhaps a child may need math or English or certain concepts to be broken down further. Even things like completing worksheets, group work, class presentations, show and tell. Then what about social skills related? Responding to peers, working with others, making friends. Then of course, still closing the developmental gap. At the same time, we need to still keep working on closing that gap, particularly in the area of language, academic and social skills, as well as overall independence. So this would still be incorporated into the daily structured learning times after school. Also importantly, peer play. This is a really important part of helping our kiddos learn to make friendships. And so having play dates, going to the playground or swimming pool where there are other children, as well as participating in group-based extracurricular activities will all provide your child with many more peer play opportunities. Therefore, the proposed daily guide for these kids would look something like this. Their morning routine. Now, by this stage, a child should be independent in waking up with an alarm, maybe their wash-up routine, toileting, brushing teeth, showering if necessary, changing. Then the breakfast routine, grabbing their breakfast, eating, cleaning up, like putting it back in the sink. Then getting ready for school, you've got socks, you've got shoes, you've got their bag. Don't forget the water bottle and snack bag. And at the moment, masks are still mandatory due to the pandemic. Then in the drive to school, this is a great opportunity for conversational targets, such as playing simple car games like I Spy, or more elaborate conversations, such as what are you looking forward to in school, or discussing different situations, or sometimes just playing some fun songs and singing together. This, of course, applies to after school as well, and you can ask specific questions like what did you eat for lunch, or who did you play with, or what did you play with during recess. Then in the after school routine, well, there are usually different aspects: putting away school shoes and socks, their bag, changing, or even showering if needed. Then you've got to have a snack. Maybe you want to pack for school the next day. Then of course, the after-school learning time. If a child is in a full day of school, like up to 3 p.m. or something, there is likely only about an hour to 90 minutes for this. And so we need to use the time efficiently and also to set our kiddos up to be successful. Typically, a flow like this could work out well. Perhaps start with a short chat regarding how school went. This could actually be done during snack time as well. Then go over self-regulation or rule cards if applicable. Then finish up their homework, again if there is. Then in terms of learning targets, this could be in social skills or language skills, programs like Say It, Think It, Circle of Friends, role plays which are practicing simulated scenarios from school so that we can help our children be more confident. Then of course there's playtime, and it would be great if this could actually be play dates or going to the playground or pool for outdoor play. So again, there are more peer play opportunities. Sometimes we need to teach our children how to play certain games that all the kids are playing in school, and it is always easier to practice it with one other child in a more controlled environment, like a play date, than in real school. Now, just as we have mentioned in the previous lessons, visuals will still be relevant, but perhaps it can be much more written or even on the phone. So some suggested visuals include visual schedules and calendar. Most school kids have a school calendar and a weekly timetable that they need to refer to anyway. Visual checklists and routines, this would be very relevant for independence and completing a morning routine or an after-school routine, and for children to check it off themselves. Visual rules. Autism can present with oftentimes literal thinking, and so we do need to write down rules and expected behavior in certain situations for our children to understand. Then self-regulation visuals, as our kiddos do need to know what the expectations are, as well as for them to practice being aware and then regulating their behavior, and also reflecting and reviewing themselves. Then visuals for learning. This can range from social stories, video models, first-then cards, visuals for circle of friends, pecking order, zones of regulation, and the list goes on and on. Whatever is necessary for your child.
Pop quiz. Bob has just started school but still has a developmental delay of 1.5 years. Bob's parents really want him to transition into school and be like a typical child, and the school feels he should participate in the full day of school as well. What should Bob's parents do? A. Since Bob's parents and teachers want him to do so, Bob should transition to full-day school. B. Although Bob's parents and teachers want him to do so, they need to look at Bob's priorities and his developmental delay and try to give him the best opportunity to catch up in those areas of delay through intensive treatment in the afternoon. Yes, you know what our answer is? Sometimes as adults, we have a plan for our kids, but we need to always look at their needs and that this is just a temporary season. The ultimate long-term goal is to transition to full-time school days, but a more gradual transition that gives more opportunity to strengthen foundational skills has never hurt anyone. If Bob only attends half-day school, will he be missing out on school and other activities, and most importantly, making friends? A. Yes, obviously, as he is only there for half the day. B. Not necessarily, as there is quite a bit of waiting time and breaks in school, and usually by afternoon, some children do get more tired and may start to lose attention. So one-to-one sessions in the afternoon may be more beneficial. Again, yes, you know what our answer will be. Furthermore, in the afternoon sessions, Bob will be focusing on school support activities as well, which will help him be able to focus and learn more in school. Additionally, Bob's therapist could organize intentional playdates in the afternoon to help with Bob's social skills and transition to school.
Now it is your turn. Again, identify if your child is meeting the developmental milestones for their age. And if there is a delay, try to get a more accurate picture of the delay. Is it 18 months, 2 years, or much more? If your child is demonstrating a delay, please do go back to the previous lessons of that age that your child is developmentally at and start developing key priorities from there. Then go through the 7 key areas to prepare for school and identify if your child is demonstrating the appropriate skills to transition to a school. Then of course, look for a suitable school, prepare your child, prepare the school, and you're ready to transition your child in. So that's it, a daily guide on autism at home for school-going children. In the next and final lesson, we will be focusing on homeschool kids and teenagers or children requiring special education support. Also, thank you so much for your support. And with the amount of interest that we have received online, we have actually started providing online services and currently work with clients in other states of Malaysia, New Zealand, Philippines, Singapore, and even Switzerland. So do scan the QR code here and get in touch with us for more information. If you haven't already, do check out our free online resource platform, Autism at Home, which has all the corresponding articles and downloadables for you. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Instagram and Facebook to stay updated. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon.